Court next calls the people of the state of Michigan versus Keenan Lee Raines Skillern. Good morning. This is case number 26732 FY. Appearances starting with the prosecutor.
Please adult making an appearance from Mr. Carnes.
Good morning, Judge Harani, on behalf of Mr. Skillern.
All right, and Mr. Skillern appears in the courtroom. Mr. Niagos is by Zoom. We are here for a sentencing on a plea taken back on April 9th to an aggravated assault and simple assault. The court had requested a pre-sentence investigation report. I have received a copy of that. Have counsel, have you both received that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do either side have any additions, corrections to be made to it?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dull, is there any victim input?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm going to read a letter by Keenan.
All right.
Dear Judge, I believe that Mr. Keenan Skillern should face jail time and probation for his actions. His behavior was unacceptable and without reason. Being attacked by a stranger was very scary and emotionally overwhelming for me. Seeing my boyfriend being attacked, hit, and choked to the point of passing out was terrifying. If I had not intervened in the fight, drawing Mr. Skillern's attention away from Jade, I'm not sure that he would have stopped choking him. I was very scared. Within the altercation, Mr. Skillern grabbed me and pushed me up against my car so hard it dented my car. I had bruising on my right arm and my chest. I also had lower back pain from hitting the car. Following this, I was very nervous and anxious to drive my car, go shopping, and run errands alone, afraid he would see me and do who knows what. I was scared of this angry, unpredictable person. I struggle with anxiety, and this ongoing situation has been very difficult for me. In the days, weeks, and months following this, I have had to make an appointment with a doctor. I've been dealing with insurance claims and out-of-pocket costs and scheduled car repair. Working 2 jobs and being without my car was difficult. I also need to have my vehicles to have the coating redone on the new parts. So once again, I will be without my car. I've had to spend time getting copies of bills for police reports in the court and make multiple trips to the police station. It's been a lot to deal with. I hope also that Mr. Skillern receives some type of anger management or counseling as well. Thank you for taking my thoughts into consideration. Sincerely, Keenan.
Thank you. Mr. Niagos, any allocution?
Just looking at the evaluation and the PSI from the probation agent, Judge, I think that that Keenan expressed very well what happened that day, the regretful choices he made. He's been very remorseful. I think that his statements in there about what he perceived and what he observed, I really hope, and I'm sure the court will not look at those as somehow him being evasive or placing the blame on others. I think that he was just simply being honest about what happened in this otherwise obviously isolated incident, given that he's somebody that's never been before a court of law in any trouble of any sort before. I think that the resolution in this case is fair. I think the punitive effect of these multiple criminal convictions now on my client's behalf, when you are somebody that doesn't have any criminal record whatsoever, is significant. I think that that the court ultimately, when looking at punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation, again, my argument to the court is that the sheer acceptance of responsibility and what comes with it in the form of these convictions is significant punishment. I think that the deterrence piece, he's obviously somebody that is well equipped to be focused on that. In other words, going back to what he's done prior to January 17, 2026 in his otherwise young life, because he's got no criminal contacts. And in terms of rehabilitation, I think, Keenan spoke very well about his challenges and his struggles and the fact that he wants to get better. And I'll submit to the court that you have some proof, and the victims have some proof that he has gotten better, because in these situations, unfortunately, way too often, you have scenarios where there's violations of bond, there's violations of the no contact order and the such. Last time, before the court ultimately ordered a PSI, I advised the court that my client is ready to assist and agreed to the restitution figures for out-of-pocket costs for these people, because he is extremely remorseful. And ultimately, I think that Ms. Bismarck's recommendation is more than adequate in this case, Judge. Keenan looks forward to participating and benefiting from the anger management. And certainly he wants to continue to improve and make sure that his actions don't ever bring him back before you or any other court of law. That would conclude my comments, and we would ask that you follow the recommendations in the PSI. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Skillern, you had the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
Notice that
So I read it in the assessment. It looks like you had been on medication and then went off of it because you weren't liking the effects of it. Are you on anything now?
no, Your Honor. I'm working with VA currently. We're trying to find better medications for PTSD and stuff like that. It just takes time to kind of wean your body off of all the pills that they had on in the beginning.
So I did see that you were a veteran, and thank you for your service. Did you see combat?
No, it was a lot of stateside instances.
What I have in my head when I read the assessment here done by the probation department in regards to the event, and correct me if I'm wrong, because of how I envision it is the two of you are parked side by side in the parking lot. There's something going on in their car. You're staring at it, and then both of you get out of the car at the same time, or so what happens there?
Yeah, I'd seen him going because he kind of went like this to me. Then he reached over to get out of his car, and then that's when I got out of my car at the same time.
So why not just leave at that point? Why did you engage?
That I'm not sure. I don't know if it was just kind of better me than her, if that was, because in my perception of it, that they were fighting. I don't know if it was a better me than her kind of thing, because I've seen a lot of very serious injuries between domestic violence and my mother. So I think that has a big factor in it.
So how long were you parked next to each other?
Not long. I pulled up right next to him, kind of noticed it, and I just kind of looked over, and then talked to the pastor. I was like, I think they're fighting. And I look over again, and we sat there and continued to talk. And I looked over it the third time, and then that's when he put his arms up at me and started yelling from his car, and we got out.
So you had somebody in your car also?
Yes.
Did that person get out?
No.
Your Honor, there's a video from Meyer where the victims pulled into the parking spot at 7:44, and my client pulled in right after at 7:45. So it's consistent. What Keenan's recollection is consistent with what that video showed.
And then, so what time did the altercation take place?
Basically, at that time, 7:45 in the morning.
Okay.
And I watched, for what it's worth, Judge, I watched the video, and it's, yeah, that there's hand gesticulations, both come out, and then, Keenan did what he did.
All right. You're working with the VA now. Were you working with the VA then?
At that time, did not have a counselor. My counselor had resigned. And it's kind of, since then, I have now a full-time therapist, Dr. Goral is his, but still looking for a full-time counselor. So I see someone kind of every 2 weeks about, or if I call, they might be able to get someone, but it's a different person every time as of right now.
Is that VA here or somewhere else?
Yes, sir, it's that way.
Anything else you want me to know or consider?
Time, John.
All right, thank you. Ms. Dahl, any allocution?
Yes, Your Honor. The people are asking for some jail time in this case. This is a very violent incident. I do believe probation is appropriate with the recommendations made in the pre-sentence report, the no contact, legal management, and all the other things mentioned, but I do believe some jail time is appropriate in this case. The victim is terrified. This has impacted her life. She is here today. She had me, well, I read the letter on her behalf. There is a restitution that was agreed on in the amount of $605, I believe. I think just probation is not enough to show the gravity of the assault and the impact it's had. So I would ask for some jail time in this case with the probation.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may just briefly, just if that's okay.
Sure.
And this is mostly for the victim to hopefully also hear and consider. If the court is inclined, and I'm sure the court is probably looking at this, given the fact we've agreed to a significant amount of restitution and my client's employed, if the court is inclined to order some jail time in this case, we would ask for the court's grace and consideration in fashioning some sort of sentence that allows him to remain employed, to be able to, at the very least, compensate, knowing that he can't, change the feelings that he's caused for the victim, but at least be able to compensate for the financial loss they've had. Thank you, Judge.
So the PSI says that he's unemployed. He's now employed?
Your Honor, yes, I was unemployed. I found out that I actually worked with some of the victim's family there, so left there. I'm doing landscaping now.
All right, so you're employed now. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. I apologize. I missed the check box there. Thank you for that.
Okay. All right. Counsel, I admit I am drawing a blank. I know domestic does not qualify for early release from probation. Does aggravated assault and battery, does that qualify? Let me pull up the statute real quick. I think he does qualify. All right. I can only imagine what this scenario looked like at Meyer at 7:45 in the morning, and I can only imagine what Jade and Michaela were feeling when this was going on. At least as presented by Mr. Skillern and is presented in the pre-sentence investigation report. There may have been a little bit of egging on Mr. Skillern when the other party got out of the car and raised their arms up in the air. But here's the thing, Mr. Skillern was safe in his vehicle. He could have left if he felt threatened. He doesn't know why he acted the way he did, other than maybe some reaction to something that had happened in his past. But I don't see the need to have to, one, defend himself in the way he did, or if he perceived another person needing defense, I don't believe that that would have been justified, because the person justified, as the person had gotten out of the vehicle and the situation had, for all intent and purposes, had calmed down. I also realize that Mr. Skillern has been on probation for some period of time. Back on March 13th, I believe, is when he was arraigned, and I have not had any probation violations. So I do take
Just for
that
the,
in-
sorry, Judge,
I'm sorry,
just for the
bond
record.
violations. Yes, thanks. So I do take in that into account when I impose this sentence. I do believe that this does warrant a 24-month probationary period. I find that is appropriate, given that the struggles that Mr. Skillern is having with the VA, knowing that there's services there. I want to make sure that you continue to work those services and get those services. As disclosed in the probation violation, I'm sorry, I did it again, the probation recommendation report, there's some underlying issues there that I think need to be addressed. I know the recommendation was for 12 months of probation, but I think 24 months is more appropriate. However, you are eligible for early release. So if you do everything that we need you to do within that first 12 months, you can be released at that 12-month mark. During the period of time that you're on probation, you're not to violate any law. Report as ordered. Keep your contact information current. Not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. During the period of time that you're on probation, I want you to attend counseling as directed by your probation officer. What you're doing for the VA is probably going to qualify, but if she decides that you need to do something other than that, you'll need to do that other issue. Also, you are to attend an anger management class or course, not to act in any violent, intimidating, or harassing behavior, no purchase or possession of firearms or weapons. I believe those are appropriate given the given the crimes that you've been convicted of and the situation in which played out. I have no indication that drugs or alcohol are an issue, so I'm not going to order no alcohol. Obviously, any illegal controlled substances are going to be against the law, so you're not going to be able to do that. I am going to allow no, I won't do that. I am going to continue the no contact order. And that gets us to a term of jail, what to do with jail. Mr. Skillern, I know everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, your attorney has advocated for no jail. The prosecutor's office, the probation office does not recommend it. But I believe that this warrants a term of incarceration. I'm taking into account that you have no prior violations and that you have no prior criminal history. I'm taking that into account. I am going to order 10 days jail with 1 day credit. I am going to allow you to serve that jail on the weekend. So I assume your job is a Monday through Friday
Yeah.
job. What time do you get done on Fridays?
It kind of just varies on, right now it's super slow because everyone's grass is still flooded and all that stuff, so it's.
If I do a turn into the jail at 6 p.m. Friday, will that work?
Yes.
All right. So we'll do 6 p.m. Friday through 6 p.m. on Sunday. You do have 1-day credit, and you'll need to repeat that until you have sat your 10 days. Okay. There is a $75 Crime Victims' Rights Fund fee, $50 state minimum fee, two $50 state minimum fees because you have 2 convictions for misdemeanors. 100 and, let me make sure that's right. You're gonna do $150 fine, $150 court costs, $150 attorney fee. I believe those fees are appropriate. Fines and costs are appropriate, given procedurally where this case sits and the amount of time that's gone into it. I'm gonna only charge you for 12 months of probation, so that's $360. If you end up staying longer than that 12 months, you're gonna be required to pay the monthly probation fee, along with $625 restitution. Ms. Dahl, is there anything I missed in the judgment of sentence?
I don't believe so.
Mr. Niegos?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Because you do have 1-day credit, you are entitled to $5 back towards your fines and costs. Any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days has a 20% penalty added to that. I am going to waive that penalty while you're on probation, however. So you'll need to go out to the front window where you checked in, get a copy of your judgment, make a payment if you're able to. If not, get set up on a payment plan. And then you'll need to go downstairs to the district court probation office and get signed up for your probation requirements. And then make sure that you turn yourself into the jail, otherwise a bench warrant will issue. All right. Do you have any questions for me at all?
Is it just through the front door of the office of the jail? I'm assuming, do you know that?
Yes. So when you'll get there, you'll probably have to press the buzzer. You'll at the jail, let them at the front door administration office, and corrections will deal with you. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Skillern, a veteran with PTSD, pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and simple assault after a January 17, 2026 parking lot incident where he choked a man unconscious and shoved the man's girlfriend into a car, denting it and injuring her. He claimed he thought he was intervening in a domestic dispute. The victim submitted a powerful impact letter describing lasting fear, anxiety, insurance claims, and car repairs. The defense highlighted Skillern's clean record and VA therapy. The judge sentenced him to 24 months probation, anger management, counseling, no firearms, a continued no-contact order, and 10 days weekend jail, Friday to Sunday, to allow him to keep his landscaping job. Restitution of $625 ordered.